Over recent years, we've all seen all the stories of species extinction, some of the big animals going. Equally important, we're losing a lot of biodiversity, the insect world, smaller animals. And as well as these headlines, the big stories that we hear about, the big creatures, there's a worrying increase in the loss of bioabundance. If you ever watch the news, you'll have heard how various animals are vanishing from the earth. Elephants in Africa and Asia, big cats like the Sumatran tiger, orangutans, the blue whale. In fact, the Red List details 26,000 species under threat. The human population, 7.6 billion people, are only 0.01% of living creatures on Earth. But we have caused the loss of 83% of wild mammals and half of plants. We live in a very interconnected world, a fragile ecosystem, and the chain of events that could follow from this are unpredictable, but definitely disastrous. Here in the UK, many once common birds are under threat. Skylarks, nightingales, turtle doves, grey partridges, corn buntings, lapwings, tree sparrows and birds of prey. Well, Wales has seen the same pattern as everywhere else, and you had 2016 State of Nature Wales report, which showed 1 in 14 species in Wales at risk of extinction. We've got things like the proposed M4 relief road, which will go through an area of special scientific interest, causing an incredible amount of habitat loss, which can only make the problem worse. Bees are also under threat from habitat loss, disease, climate change and toxic pesticides. If bees go extinct, we lose not only honey, they pollinate 70% of the most important 100 crop species that feed 90% of the planet. Last year, CNN reported a 75% decline in the numbers of flying insects. While not every species is cute or cuddly, they are important in the food chain and a warning of the way we're going. We live on a finite planet in a very finely balanced ecosystem that all relies on each other. We're causing damage with unpredictable consequences, pretty much like climate change, the loss of biodiversity and bioabundance. We really don't know what that's going to cause. You wipe out a certain species of insect, higher up the chain you lose birds, you lose the birds that prey on them. The potential for disaster is infinite. Economists would have us believe this is progress and growth. This isn't. This is catastrophic ruin. In 2014, dozens of British beetles were put on a list of endangered species. 3 leaf beetles have already gone extinct over the last century. In a nature reserve, you would expect butterflies and moths to thrive, but the variety of species has almost halved in a recent study in Bavaria. In another recent study by Aberdeen University, researchers linked the decline in the numbers of cuckoos in some parts of the UK to that of tiger moths on which they feed. What's causing this catastrophic decline? There are several reasons: farming and logging, encroaching on areas where nature used to run free, poaching animals for tusks and horns or exotic pets for rich collectors, and then there's climate change, causing droughts in some places, floods in others, and raising the mean temperature across the planet. It takes only a few degrees additional warming to melt the ice that polar bears rely on in the Arctic and penguins in the Antarctic. Closer to home, quintessentially British mammals such as red squirrels and hedgehogs are vastly reduced in numbers. What can be done to protect these animals? Planting wildflowers is very useful for bees. You don't need a hive to help. A bunch of canes fixed to a fence or a tree makes a handy bee hotel. It's cheap to make, and angled like this protects them from the rain. Many people like a tidy garden, but leaving wild spaces provides somewhere for hedgehogs. And if you want to make a difference on a political scale, you can always vote Green. Greens at every level will always fight to protect the environment and this very fragile world that we live on. 2015 general election, we were the only party that actually had a manifesto for animals, which shows that we are thinking about these things and we are the party that has the answers to these problems.